Today we gather in the consciousness of abundance to recognize that the supply of the universe is infinite and ready to flow into our lives. There is a divine current that never fails, a fountain of wealth that is ours the moment we claim it. Too often, we look at the outer world with anxious eyes, measuring our means by what appears to be lacking. Yet the world without is but a reflection of the world within. The moment we speak the word of faith, the invisible becomes visible, and the unseen riches manifest as our own. There is a wand, a miraculous instrument not of wood or gold but of our own spoken word. This wand is the power of declaration, the word we affirm, the truth we hold steady in the mind. Every word is a seed, every word is a magnet. When we declare prosperity, health, love, and opportunity, we set in motion the divine supply that responds instantly to our conscious demand. Poverty, limitation, and fear are but shadows that dissolve in the light of our spoken word. Wealth is not something we chase, it is something we invite. It is the reflection of the inner faith we hold unwaveringly. Understand this: the universe hears every thought and every word. It is impartial, obedient, and ready to answer. When we speak of lack, we tighten the channels of supply. When we speak of abundance, we open the doors of providence. The wand of divine supply is always in our hand, but it works only when guided by right thinking, right speaking, and right understanding. Fear, doubt, and worry are the only barriers to the flow. They are like knots in the cord of life that must be loosened by the steady faith of declaration. Consider the miracle of your own life. Every provision you have ever received, every opportunity that has come to you, was first called into being by the invisible. This is the law. The invisible precedes the visible. The seed must be sown in thought and word before it can appear in form. Speak now, as if the treasure is already yours and the universe will respond with surprising swiftness. Words of wealth are not idle phrases. They are creative acts. Each affirmation, each grateful acknowledgement of supply, becomes the wand that draws the blessings into your experience. Your life can be transformed when you recognize the authority of your words. Speak only of the abundance you wish to see and never speak of limitation again. Your words are the wand, your faith is the power, and the divine supply is the effortless response that follows. There is no scarcity in the mind attuned to the unseen. There is no lack to the one who trusts in the unseen and speaks the word of prosperity. Every word that passes our lips carries with it a creative force, an invisible energy that moves through the universe and shapes our experiences. It is not merely a sound, a vibration, or a casual expression. It is a wand in our hand, a tool of divine power, capable of calling into form every desire that aligns with the law of prosperity. Many walk through life unaware of the power they hold, speaking casually of lack, limitation, and impossibility, never realizing that each word is a seed sown in the fertile soil of the unseen. The universe responds not to our complaints nor to our fears, but to the clear, unwavering declarations of truth. The spoken word is the wand that directs the currents of abundance, and when wielded with conscious intent, it becomes a channel through which the riches of life flow without obstruction. Consider for a moment the immense power held within a single phrase. A word spoken with faith is like a spark igniting a flame. It sets in motion invisible forces that begin to weave a tapestry of opportunity, provision, and prosperity. Each affirmation of abundance calls the unseen to assemble around that thought, arranging circumstances, attracting allies, and opening doors that had remained closed. It is not the external effort alone that produces wealth. It is the alignment of thought, word, and spirit with the infinite supply. When you understand this, you begin to speak with a new reverence, a new consciousness, recognizing that the words you utter are shaping the very reality you inhabit. Many fail to grasp this principle because they measure wealth and success by the appearances of the material world. They speak of limitations they see, of bills that must be paid, of shortages that seem to threaten their comfort. Yet in doing so, they are tightening the channels through which abundance could flow. The spoken word is indifferent to fear and despair, but it responds with perfect accuracy to declarations of faith. When you lift your voice and speak of plenty, of health, of opportunity, and of provision, you are waving the wand that commands the universe to respond. The unseen obeys law, and law is precise, impartial, and immediate. I pronounce you a thorough fellow and international. This wand, the spoken word, is most powerful when accompanied by faith. Faith is the invisible magnet that draws the results of your declarations into form. Without faith, the words may echo, but they will lack the potency needed to move mountains or open streams of wealth. Faith breathes life into the word. It infuses it with energy, intention, and certainty. When you speak with faith, there is no room for doubt, hesitation, or fear. Your word becomes an unerring instrument, capable of transforming circumstances and calling forth opportunities that previously seemed impossible. The spoken word also has a miraculous ability to align your inner consciousness with the rhythm of abundance. Words of wealth shape thought patterns, condition belief, and reprogram the mind to expect and receive. Repetition of affirmations, carefully chosen phrases, and declarations of gratitude establishes a vibrational resonance with the divine supply. In this resonance, lack and limitation dissolve, and the mind becomes a fertile field in which every seed of prosperity can grow unhindered. It is a law as precise as the laws of nature. What is spoken with conviction and received in faith cannot fail to manifest. When you hold this principle in your awareness, you begin to choose your words with care. Casual remarks of insufficiency, complaints about circumstances, and murmurs of despair are recognized as spells of limitation that block the very supply you seek. Conversely, words spoken with confidence, joy, and expectation are the instruments by which abundance is drawn into your experience. Your tongue becomes a wand, and your consciousness its guiding hand. You are no longer a passive observer of life, but an active participant in the creation of your prosperity. Every reality that we perceive in the material world began first in the invisible world of thought. Nothing can manifest in form until it has first been conceived in the mind, until it has been held, pictured, and affirmed as truth. The invisible is the blueprint, the seed, the fertile field from which all visible manifestations spring. Those who fail to understand this law often labor in vain, seeking results by external effort alone while neglecting the inner work of belief and imagination. It is not the world of appearances that governs success and abundance. It is the unseen world of thought, faith, and expectation. Faith is the bridge that connects the invisible to the visible, the magnet that draws the unseen into form, and the key that unlocks the treasury of divine supply. Consider the way nature works. A seed planted in darkness beneath the soil contains within it the blueprint of a tree, a flower, or a harvest of fruit. The gardener does not summon the growth by force, nor does the seed struggle to create itself. It unfolds naturally when placed in the proper environment. So it is with the laws of abundance. The invisible thought, the seed of desire, contains the full potential of the visible result. Faith waters that seed, nourishes it, and maintains the belief that what has been conceived in the mind is already present in the unseen. The moment you hold an idea firmly in consciousness, with expectation and clarity, you set in motion the currents of supply that will bring it into visible expression. Many people make the mistake of looking first at what is lacking. They measure their wealth, success, or health by the current appearances of their lives, and in doing so, they anchor themselves to limitation. This is a reversal of the natural order. The invisible must precede the visible, and it is only when the mind has embraced the vision of abundance, when the heart has accepted the truth of unlimited supply, that the visible can conform to the inner ideal. It is in the quiet, unseen mind where the miracle begins, where the picture of success is painted, and where the word of faith is spoken, calling forth the resources, opportunities, and people necessary to bring it into form. Faith is not a passive wish or idle hope. It is an active principle, a knowing certainty that the invisible is real and that the law of supply responds faithfully. When you speak affirmations, visualize your desires, and trust in the unseen, you align your consciousness with the currents of divine abundance. The universe responds to this alignment with perfect precision, arranging circumstances, opening doors, and providing the right connections at the right time. Faith is the magnet that attracts all that is needed, and without it, the invisible remains hidden, and the visible continues to reflect only what is already known in doubt and limitation. To cultivate this understanding, one must learn to hold steadfastly to the ideal, to think consistently of the end result rather than the temporary appearances. The mind must dwell upon the vision of prosperity as though it were already achieved. Each mental picture, each confident assertion, strengthens the invisible framework, solidifying the blueprint of success. Words spoken in faith, repeated with conviction, become powerful instruments that bridge the gap between desire and manifestation. It is in this way that the invisible calls the visible into being, and the law of supply moves in perfect harmony with those who trust its operation. Those who master this principle recognize that the outer world is only a reflection of the inner state. Lack, limitation, and delay are but mirrors of doubt, fear, and disbelief. Conversely, joy, expectation, and unwavering faith illuminate the path for abundance to flow freely. To live in the consciousness of the invisible is to hold the treasure before it appears, to claim it in thought, and to act in accordance with the certainty that what is unseen is already real. The law is impartial, and it never fails. It responds to the conviction of faith, the clarity of vision, and the strength of affirmation. When the invisible is acknowledged, cherished, and affirmed, it inevitably becomes visible. Supply follows faith, provision answers expectation, and opportunity flows effortlessly into the life of one who understands that the unseen precedes the seen. The mind becomes the workshop, the word becomes the wand, and the heart becomes the magnet that draws the treasures of life into tangible experience. Every word that passes through our lips carries with it a creative force. It is the most potent instrument in our hands, the wand through which the invisible responds to our thought and consciousness. Words are not mere expressions of feeling or casual conversation. They are the very seeds of manifestation. When we speak of lack, limitation, or impossibility, we plant seeds that grow into experiences of scarcity. When we speak of abundance, prosperity, and opportunity, we cultivate a garden of wealth that flourishes in perfect harmony with the law of supply. Words shape our outer world, for the universe responds to the vibrations we emit through speech. This is why it is of utmost importance to choose every word with care, to recognize its power, and to speak consciously as one who holds the wand of creation in hand. Many live in a state of unconscious speech, repeating phrases learned from circumstance or habit, unaware that each negative expression erects a barrier to the flow of abundance. A casual remark of insufficiency, a complaint about money, or a statement of "I cannot," are like obstacles placed before a river. They dam the flow and prevent the current of divine supply from reaching our experience. Words of lack are not harmless. They are potent affirmations that bind the individual to limitation. The moment we recognize that our speech is the instrument of our destiny, we begin to observe and transform the words we habitually use. Every complaint is a misdirected wand, and every accusation of insufficiency strengthens the very conditions we wish to escape. In contrast, words of wealth, spoken with faith and confidence, open the channels of supply and align us with the infinite. Phrases such as "I am prosperous," "opportunities flow to me," and "I receive freely and gratefully" are not mere affirmations. They are commands to the invisible, calling forth the resources necessary to manifest our desires. When we speak with conviction, we establish a vibration that attracts wealth, opens doors, and guides circumstances to fulfill the vision held in consciousness. The universe, impartial and exact, responds with perfect order to the words we use, treating every declaration as an instruction to bring forth the reality we have spoken. It is essential to understand that the power of words is magnified by belief. A mere recitation without conviction has little effect. It is the combination of spoken word and unwavering faith that forms the true wand of creation. Words must be accompanied by the mental picture of the desired outcome, held with clarity and expectation. To say "I am wealthy" while envisioning lack is to send contradictory signals to the invisible, and the manifestation will align with the dominant thought pattern. The spoken word, therefore, must be consistent, affirmative, and harmonious with the inner vision of abundance. One of the greatest obstacles to prosperity is the habitual use of negative language learned from family, society, or circumstance. Many unconsciously repeat phrases of limitation, saying, "Money is hard to come by," or "There is never enough." These words, though seemingly innocent, are powerful spells that attract further lack. Each repetition reinforces a vibration of scarcity, drawing circumstances that reflect the belief. The careful cultivation of words of wealth, on the other hand, rewires the mind, conditions the spirit, and establishes a new magnetic field that draws all that is needed. Words of abundance are the keys that unlock the treasury of life, while words of lack are locks that keep it closed. It is also important to recognize that words spoken to others carry the same creative power. When we affirm abundance to those around us, we not only bless them but also reinforce the vibration of prosperity within ourselves. Conversely, participating in gossip, complaints, or discussions of scarcity strengthens the barriers and perpetuates limitation. Conscious speech, therefore, is not merely a private practice. It is an active engagement with the universal law, shaping both our personal experience and the environment in which we live. By understanding and applying this principle, every individual can transform their life. Words of lack are the fences that confine. Words of wealth are the keys that open the gates. Every spoken affirmation is a wand, directing the flow of supply, guiding circumstances, and creating opportunity. The power of speech is immediate, impartial, and consistent, responding to the quality of consciousness behind it. Fear, doubt, and worry are the heaviest chains that bind the soul and block the natural flow of divine supply. These are invisible barriers, subtle yet powerful, that intercept the current of abundance before it reaches the life of one who is unaware. Fear arises from the imagination dwelling on lack, imagining the worst possible outcomes, and holding firmly to them as though they were inevitable. Doubt whispers that the invisible law will fail, that the supply of the universe is limited, or that the blessings one desires are beyond reach. Worry, the constant companion of fear and doubt, churns the mind with endless scenarios of insufficiency and struggle, reinforcing the vibration of scarcity. These three, fear, doubt, and worry, operate together like a dam across a river, preventing the free flow of providence, and they must be consciously removed in order for abundance to manifest. It is essential to understand that fear is always a thought of the future, an anticipation of lack that has no real existence in the present. The future responds to the energy we invest in it, and when that energy is fear, the universe reflects back situations that confirm the worry. Doubt functions in the same way, undermining faith and weakening the authority of the spoken word. The invisible law is exact. It responds to the dominant thought, the repeated mental picture, and the words spoken with belief. If doubt is allowed to persist, the law of supply will faithfully bring circumstances that reflect it, reinforcing the very limitation that was feared. Worry, which often accompanies both fear and doubt, compounds the effect by creating tension in mind, body, and spirit, creating a vibration that repels instead of attracts. Those who understand the power of consciousness recognize that these obstacles are self-imposed. No external condition can prevent supply from flowing when the inner mind is aligned with faith and certainty. Fear, doubt, and worry are signals that attention has been diverted to the illusion of lack rather than to the reality of abundance. Every thought of fear is a withdrawal of energy from the current of divine supply. Every doubt is a blockage, and every moment of worry is a misalignment with the invisible law. When one becomes aware of these inner conditions, there is an opportunity to consciously release them, to replace them with trust, affirmation, and expectation. The remedy lies in deliberate and repeated practice of affirming truth, holding unwavering faith, and maintaining a mental picture of abundance. Fear must be met with courage, the thought of insufficiency replaced with the certainty of supply. Doubt must be countered by repeated affirmations of provision, spoken with conviction and clarity. Worry must be transformed into focused expectation, with attention directed toward what is desired rather than what is feared. These practices are not mere exercises in positive thinking. They are the operation of a universal law, the conscious engagement with the invisible currents that respond to the clarity and authority of thought and word. It is also important to recognize the subtle ways in which fear, doubt, and worry appear in daily life. Fear may disguise itself as caution or prudence. Doubt may masquerade as realistic thinking. Worry may appear as responsible concern. Yet beneath these disguises, the vibration is still one of lack and limitation. Even carefully rationalized thoughts of insufficiency create a subtle resistance that delays the manifestation of supply. The conscious mind must learn to discern between practical action and mental habits that block abundance. Action guided by clarity, faith, and expectation does not contradict the law, it complements it. Fear-driven action, however, multiplies resistance and obstructs the flow of blessings. Those who master the understanding of these invisible obstacles begin to see them as opportunities for conscious correction. Each moment of fear is an invitation to replace it with trust. Each doubt is an opportunity to reaffirm faith. Each worry is a signal to focus on the truth of divine provision. By becoming vigilant over the mind and speech, one gradually learns to recognize and release these obstacles as soon as they arise. As the mind clears, the channels of supply open effortlessly, and the flow of abundance becomes steady, reliable, and uninterrupted. The transformative power of this awareness is immediate. Fear, doubt, and worry shrink in the light of conscious faith. The inner vibration changes, and circumstances adjust in perfect accord with the new consciousness. The flow of divine supply is never limited by external conditions, and it responds precisely to the quality of inner thought and expectation. Gratitude is the key that unlocks the channels of divine abundance, and affirmations are the instruments by which we consciously direct the flow of supply. The mind that is filled with thankfulness automatically tunes itself to the frequency of prosperity. When we appreciate what we have, no matter how small it may appear, we send a signal to the invisible law that we recognize the infinite source and are ready to receive more. Gratitude is not a passive feeling but an active force, a declaration that the universe is already abundant and that we are in harmony with its supply. When combined with affirmations, it becomes a powerful tool, a wand that directs the currents of provision into our experience with precision and clarity. Many fail to grasp the significance of gratitude because they look only at what is missing, focusing on insufficiency, unmet desires, or obstacles in the way. Yet the universe responds not to complaint or longing, but to acknowledgement and expectation. By consciously expressing thanks for all that is present, we open the doors for greater blessings to enter. Every expression of gratitude is a creative act. It magnifies what is good and calls more of it into manifestation. Gratitude turns the mind away from limitation and aligns it with the invisible source of supply, establishing a magnetic field that attracts opportunity, wealth, and provision. Affirmations, spoken clearly and with conviction, operate as the wand of conscious creation. Each phrase is a command to the invisible, instructing the law to bring forth the desired results. When we affirm prosperity, health, joy, and opportunity, we are not merely wishing for them. We are stating a truth, a certainty that resonates with the universal supply. The combination of gratitude and affirmation multiplies the effect, creating a powerful alignment in consciousness. The mind that is grateful and declarative establishes a vibration that attracts experiences matching the words spoken and the feeling held in the heart. The practice of gratitude also clears the channels of resistance. When the mind dwells on lack or injustice, it closes the doors to abundance. Worry, resentment, and dissatisfaction create vibrations that repel supply, while gratitude dissolves these blockages, allowing the life-giving current of provision to flow freely. By acknowledging the blessings already present, the individual strengthens the faith that the law is faithful, that supply is infinite, and that every need will be met. Each affirmation of gratitude is a signal to the universe that we recognize the invisible hand guiding our life, and it responds by multiplying what is good. Affirmations work most effectively when they are spoken as if the desired state is already a reality. To say, "I am wealthy and prosperous," while visualizing abundance, creates a mental picture that the law of supply must follow. The words themselves carry power, but when combined with imagination, expectation, and gratitude, they become a wand that shapes circumstances. It is through this practice that individuals learn to take conscious control of their experiences, realizing that external conditions are reflections of inner states. By affirming and giving thanks for abundance in all its forms, the mind and spirit harmonize with the infinite source, drawing supply with effortless ease. Gratitude also transforms the relationship with the present moment. It shifts attention from what is lacking to what is already available, fostering a consciousness of fullness rather than emptiness. This shift is crucial, for the law of supply responds to the dominant vibration, not to idle wishes or fleeting desires. A mind tuned to gratitude and enriched by affirmations signals readiness to receive, and the universe responds instantly. Every opportunity, provision, and resource is drawn into the life of one who consistently practices this principle, and the individual becomes a living example of the law at work. The interplay of gratitude and affirmation is both subtle and powerful. Gratitude softens the heart, lifts the spirit, and opens channels. Affirmations direct the mind, declare intention, and call the unseen into form. Together they create a dynamic force, a magnetic current that attracts all that is necessary for the fulfillment of desire. Through conscious practice, the individual gradually learns to rely on this inner principle rather than external conditions, understanding that the invisible source is inexhaustible and always ready to provide. The practice of expressing thanks for what is already present, combined with the daily repetition of affirmations, gradually reconditions the mind to recognize opportunity, to trust in supply, and to expect blessings at every turn. Each declaration becomes a wand, each act of gratitude a signal to the universe, and together they align consciousness with the limitless flow of abundance.